If you haven't already seen the first episode, make sure you check it out by clicking the link in the top right of the video right now. But we're going to be beginning today's episode with a home match against Parma. Parma actually came into the season as the third best team in Serie B, so with us 5 points off the playoffs already after just 4 games, it was important we got off to a good start. With 25 minutes gone, a nice bit of passing play saw a one-on-one chance, and then one of the most comedy goals we're likely to score all season. Gianluigi Buffon is by far the best goalkeeper in the league, and even he could only result in kicking the ball into his own net. It was already 1-0 to the North Italians. Parma would continue to defend well, but nothing would really happen until the second half. A good interception from our midfield saw a nice long shot that narrowly missed going over the top of Buffon's goal. 10 minutes later we got the ball on the edge of the box. A nice bit of play out wide to Capone. His cross found a volley and yet again Buffon was beaten. It's surprising how easy Parma were to play against with how good their squad is. Like I mentioned before, Buffon's the best goalkeeper in the league, but also they have Franco Vasquez and Christian Ansaldi, who was playing on the left wing, so we weren't expecting an easy one going into it. But boy, did it seem like we could score at will. We nearly did get a third goal there, but the game would slowly tick on through until the 89th minute, where Parma would have probably their first real attack of the game. A chip through ball saw a volley that missed, but I think he was offside anyway, and the game would end 2-0. A good win, and exactly what we needed going into an away match against Perugia. This was the first real time that our squad could play against a team that was on the same level as itself. With us having the second worst squad in the league, Perugia are only the 4th worst, so very close in terms of overall ability. You can see the lack of quality with shots like that from Perugia early on, a chipped finish going over the bar. So with Perugia being 2 points behind us in the league, this was again another good mid-table clash. Perugia would make it into the box just before 10 minutes, and a good finish that probably could have been saved if we had a slightly better goalkeeper. But we did then manage to go on attack of our own. Wearing our famous purple away kit, some nice passing out wide saw a chance come in. A header away only fell to us and a volley from the edge of the box was well saved. With some of the scorelines in our other games, we have proven that we can score goals. We'll definitely score a better one than that with the goalkeeper bouncing the ball up and it's slowly rolling in, but yet another goal for Caretta. We really did need to score goals because Perugia didn't have the best attack themselves. However, they could be lethal when they got an easy chance like that, making it 2-1 just before half time. Nothing would really happen until the 86th minute. Kazragi would get a chance just on the edge of the 6-yard box, and he would send the away fans into raptures. What a celebration that is to make it 2-2 this late on. With just 1 minute left in the game, it seemed like Sudtirol would have one last attack. But Kazragi had other ideas. Somehow the substitute had just about enough pace despite having a lack in that department to run through and calmly slot it home. We had come from 2-1 down to 3-2 up in the space of 6 minutes at the end of this game. No wonder Fabio Grosso was getting involved. It was a tremendous performance and proved that his team would never give up. They didn't know when they were beaten, but Perugia did, because now they had lost, Sudtirol had got a 2-game winning streak and things were really looking up for the semi-Austrian club. That would turn out to be Sudtirol's 12th goal in the last 5 games, so they were lethal in front of goal. It was really at the back where they were struggling. They would need to be solid at the back if they were going to beat Ternana, another team who are much better in attack than they are in defence. Ternana's front 3 of Donnarumma, Pettinari and Partipilo were all very good players for this level, but so were Sudtirol's, including Capone, who got through to the edge of the box after 15 minutes, but his looping shot just went wide. It was going to be important that Sudtirol did keep this attack going, especially when Ternana could counterattack as lethally as this. Donnarumma would only need to turn at the edge of the box, found a bit of space and slammed one in the side netting from distance. You can see how annoyed Fabio Grosso is to concede in that way. However, Sudtirol would still attack, with Caretta getting through on goal just after the hour mark. The ball bounced, he didn't quite shoot into the corner, and it was an easy save in the end for the Ternana goalkeeper. He would get another chance from the edge of the box, but this time a brilliant save, much more difficult, and a much better save would keep the score 1-0 to the away team. The away team do like to pass the ball around, and you can see exactly how good they are at recycling play in this situation. A couple of passes across the box, and then a looping cross hits the post and just goes above Mantle's head. 2-0 to Ternana. They would get another chance after 75 minutes, with some scrappy defending being needed from Sudtirol. Several times during this bit of play it did seem like they would concede, but somehow the ball was kept out the net. Hugo Novoa would get through one-on-one just a couple of minutes later, and he would slot it through the goalkeeper's leg to give Sudtirol a chance. Could they do another late turnaround just like they did against Perugia? Well, the answer is unfortunately no. With a corner being taken in the last minute, they tried to get the ball forward, but the whistle would be blown, and the game would end 2-1. All the staff at Sudtirol were happy that the next match was one of the shortest away trips of the entire season. Cittadella is only 61 miles away from Bolzano, where Sudtirol called their home. And it nearly got off to a good start, with a blasted shot being saved well by the goalkeeper after just 16 minutes. 14 minutes later, it was time for another Sudtirol attack. The attacking winger didn't quite get to there, but the striker in the middle found the rebounded ball, headed it into the ground, just like the textbooks say you should, and found the net, made it 1-0 to the away team. Cittadella are a decent side, and it did take Mantle to make an even better save to keep it 1-0 just before the half-an-hour mark. But then after half-time, it was time for Sudtirol to turn on the style. A long shot nearly found the top corner. Next up was one of the rarest things you'll see all season. The winger played the ball into Tunkara, who managed to hit both posts before the ball was cleared. How lucky is that for Cittadella? If you think that's the end of the look, then look no further, because it was time for a defender to tackle his own teammate, who got up in front of the ricochet. The Laureates would find Baldini in the box, and even more luck as the ball only hits the crossbar this time. Cittadella were looking like they couldn't score even if the match went on for a few more days. The last action saw De Col intercepting a ball before clearing it, and that would be that, a 1-0 away win. There was so much luck involved, but Sudtirol really did not mind. It seems like I'm saying this about every single team, but next up was one of the toughest teams in the entire league, Cagliari. These guys were everyone's favourites to win the playoffs, and they'd get an early chance after just 25 minutes, but Masiello showed why he's played at a higher level, with some immense flair for a 37-year-old centre-back. However, the ball would come straight back and require a good save from Mantle this time. Nothing much would really happen until just after the hour mark, where Pereiro would blast one in from the edge of the box, proving the amount of quality these guys have compared to the likes of Sudtirol. Mazzocchi probably could have scored there. With a one-on-one, you really have to be doing better than that in the limited chances you get against the better teams. Cagliari did manage to waste one of their own just before 80 minutes would pass, but basically that's all that would happen in this game. You can see how dogged and how determined we had to defend just to keep it at 1-0. It highlighted the golfing class and the ability we'll need to get promoted even next season. A team with a stadium that does deserve to be in the top flight is Bari, and you can see just how big this is compared to the likes of our stadium. Maybe one day in the future we'll play in a 70,000 seater stadium too, but not quite today. They have Eddie Salcido up front, and he's always going to be a danger man. You could see him there playing that ball straight through for their other striker. Unlike their stadium that was packed with fans, this match was not packed with any sort of excitement. The only real chance Sudtirol had in the entire game was this one, where a ball would slowly roll from the edge of the box. Bari themselves wouldn't have too many chances, but they would know how to finish theirs, with Eddie Salcido blasting one past Mantle to make it 1-1 just after the hour mark. Towards the end of the game, we would get another chance, with the ball being ping-ponged around the box. An overhead kick unfortunately didn't have the right accuracy or power to beat the goalkeeper. And that's basically how the game would end. With the game in stoppage time, Bari would have one last attack. Puccino would have the ball out wide, he'd try and pass it back to Salcido, we'd manage to clear it, and the ref would blow the whistle. A 1-0 defeat for Sudtirol. In our final match of the episode, we were hosting Frosinone, another one of those teams that's in a similar sort of ability bracket to us. With us playing at home, with Mantle's tifo being displayed for everyone to see, we did really need 3 points in this game. These are the sort of matches where you have to win when you're not going to be able to beat the teams like Cagliari or Palermo. And Crociato did do his best early on. He managed to break through, but his shot looped, unfortunately, just wide. While a large amount of Frosinone's team isn't actually that great, the two players they do have that I'm jealous of are Insigne and Garitano. However, it was Caso that would manage to score past Mantle early on. Just 20 minutes later, it would be Garetano, it would be Matarese, and again, this time, it would be Insigne who manages to finish the goal, makes it 2-0 after 35 minutes. We were attacking ourselves, including this powerful effort that hit the crossbar. Unfortunately, the rebound we couldn't get on target when a cross probably was the better decision, and there wouldn't be too much until late into the second half. One of Sudtirol's finest young prospects was Caviglia, and he doesn't have too much pace as you can see there, but he can finish. Overlapping from midfield, it was his first goal for the team. Could a comeback be on? Well, unfortunately, no. The game would end with one last Frosinone attack, which would go wide, but the ref would blow his whistle as soon as Mantle tried to get the ball upfield. Unfortunately, there would be no late comeback. The game was over, and it was another loss for Südtirol. But their position in the league has actually improved during this episode. They are now just 5 points off the playoffs still, but they have moved up from 14th to 11th. Hopefully you'll come back for the next episode, which will be on this channel very soon. Subscribe if you don't want to miss it, where we'll be starting off next week's episode with a nice away match against Como. Fabregas & Co up next. Subscribe and like the video if you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon. Cheers and goodbye.